going on? Welcome. I gotta see how like the colors and the volume are of everything. Give me a sec. Give me a sec. It's pretty good. I could probably turn down the music a little bit. It's pretty good. I could probably turn down the music a little bit. Is this a new room? It is a new room. It's a room that's been unused pretty much since we started the place. It was originally going to be a B-roll room. It is a new room. And then it turns out we didn't really need it. It's probably going to be better for B-roll once I finish it as a second workroom, if I'm being real. FX30? No, this is the FX3. How you can say? FX3. I do love the look of that FX30 though. That is sick. That is an amazing, amazing camera for the price. Your face looks sunburned? Yeah, I noticed I was getting a little bit of blotchiness on the face when I looked at them. I got to figure out, it's got to be like lighting and camera stuff because that's not what my face looks like. Lighting's only from the window? No, we got a big old light right here. Yeah, I noticed my cheeks are a little extra rosy. I don't know what that's about. I'll figure it all out. This is just day one. Let me see how it looks on the phone. Yeah, we're getting like a little extra magenta. I tried to add a little bit of green to the room to fix that. I don't think it fixed anything. If I could find I need to find a LUT for S-Log3 to use in OBS. That'd be really nice. Actually, I have a LUT. I wonder if I can throw it in OBS if it works the same way. I'm not sure. Here, I'll show you, let me turn off. I can turn off this light right here so you can see what it looks like just from the window. By the way, what do we call this room? I'm excited to have a new room, set it up totally different, get some variety in here. Here. This is with the window. A weird nook. It's not a nook. It's a full. It's almost. It's a little bit longer, but it's like the same square footage as my other room. I'm just looking at it long ways. Yeah, we call it the editing room. The Bat Cave, the dungeon, Studio B, the tunnel. I don't hate the tunnel. I like Studio B. Studio B sounds too professional. The reverb room. Yeah, I know. I gotta soundproof a lot of stuff. I gotta get a better mic in here. I gotta get it closer to me. I think I'm gonna hang it. You can kind of see tips here. I can actually lower this for you and show you. You can see there are rails along the ceiling. Sorry to do that in reverse. We set up rails along the ceiling. They go all the way across just so we could hang lights. This light is hanging from it. I've got another light up there, like a hair light. You can actually see, I'll turn that one off for you too. It doesn't do as much when I've got the room lights on like I have right now. There you go. See it? When the lights are off, that thing makes a huge difference. But we got some rails here. What was I talking about? I don't remember why I started talking about the rails. Jeez. It's called getting old and spending too much time on TikTok. Your short-term memory just falls apart. Still got those awesome light tubes in there? Yeah, I have a handful of tube lights. I feel like I should put one in that corner. What do you think? Actually, I think it's dead. I'd have to grab the charger. I've got the charger though. The outhouse? Get that out of here. What to do with the empty room? So I've been wanting another. Let me actually change the camera or the lens real quick because this is narrower than I'd like. Give me 1 sec. Screen's gonna go all white. Just give me a sec. And it's gonna get really bright here in a sec again. Till I drop down the aperture. There we go. Now you can see a little bit more of the room. Harris's Fortress of Solitude. Sorry for the flashbang, guys. By the way, Dylan Reynolds, thank you for the 4 months. Welcome back, man. But yeah, so this is the new room. So the reason I wanted to do this room, so I needed, every other space looks like a set and it doesn't look like a workspace. And I wanted something that looked like a workspace. So I've tried editing in my stream room, and it doesn't. My setup is like solidified as a gaming and streaming setup. And if I try to hook up my Mac to it, if I edit in like Premiere or just Resolve, like just on my PC, it wouldn't be a problem. But because I edit in Final Cut Pro on my Mac, I can't utilize the space and the sound, the speakers very well. I'd have to completely rearrange how everything works. So I figured instead I would set up this room that has been sitting here untouched since we built it, and I'd kind of rebuild this room into my editing room and have a film space that's kind of like letting you, like breaking the fourth wall. Like I want you to see some of the equipment. I wanted a film space where you could see where the sausage was made, you know? Like I wanted a functional space where you felt like, oh, this is a filmmaker's studio. Not like this is a gaming set, right? Or like the other space that we normally shoot all our stuff at, which is cool, and it's very moody and I like it, and I'm definitely gonna keep using it, but it is a moody set, and I wanted something that wasn't a set, you know? Does that make sense? I wanted something that felt like my workspace. Because that area over there that I normally film at, like with the stone wall behind me, I don't go over there unless I'm filming something. That is entirely a film set and nothing else. I want this to be a room that I spend time in, that I edit my stuff in, that I get creative in, you know? So that's what this is. The Sausage Factory. This is where you store Sir. This was where I was gonna store Scott. And Scott's like, nah, I'm gonna work from home. The vault. You guys are coming up with a lot of good epic names. I need something that feels a little more natural. Something that feels, yeah, the irony. I need something that feels like we didn't try as hard. I think we'll go with Studio B for now. The workroom. I don't hate the workroom. I like the workroom. We're gonna stick with the workroom for now until someone comes up with something better. The softbox. So I think we're gonna paint this wall like a charcoal. I think that'll be nice. I'm gonna replace the lights with the same lights that we have out there. And I gotta replace 3 more lights. And then I'll be done with lights. I already ordered them. Yeah, so I'll have my stream room and I'll have my work room. I've been jumping around with names for that one too. Like I've mostly called it my stream room. But it's not, like if I can stream from here, I'm gonna stream from here too. So like, I've started calling that one like my studio or my office. But this is just, maybe we call that one the studio and this one the work room. Paris HQ. More dog in stream. Hey, Neko. Neko. Where you at, bud? Neko. There he is. Come here, dude. Are you happy? Come here. The people miss you. Hey, come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. He hasn't gotten used to being in this room much yet. Mr. Motivation, thank you for the 10 months. Welcome back. Nappers, thank you for the 11 months. Oh, 18 months. True Senpais. Oh my gosh. Have you heard of or played with Prism Live Studio? Just download it. It feels pretty nice. I don't know what that is. What's Prism Live Studio? What's up, Sarah? Good boy. Matt Ray, thank you for the 9 months. And Cass L. Man, thank you for the 8 months. Hey. It's an OBS alternative. No, I'm gonna have to check it out. Prism is OBS with extras? Interesting. All right. Oh, good boy. Why you hate cats? Because cats hate you. By the way, is the extra Elgato XLR mic given away? No, I'm actually doing that. That's on my to-do list today, right after the stream. It's all gonna be totally randomized. So I'm gonna have it pick a comment from the video, and then I'm gonna check to see if that person is subscribed to my channel and follows me on Twitter. So, and if they're not, I'll have it pick another random person. That's how it's gonna go. I'm not going through and picking someone that tweeted at me or picking someone that commented. That's always gonna include a bias. I need a robot to do it. Let it be me. That was actually really fun. I got a lot of engagement, which is always great. Got a lot of people commenting that didn't normally comment. I think what I'll have them do next time to make it easier is just have them comment on like a different video or something. But I think the video that I'm shooting today, I'm gonna do another giveaway for it. This company that sent me this piece of gear sent me 2 as well. So yeah, might as well turn the other one into a giveaway. The sausage bunker. We're still talking about that. One of the first things I need to do, I think I'm gonna try to do it this weekend, is I need to soundproof this area behind the camera. You can't see it. I mean, you can see I've got some soundproofing stuff over here. I've got 12 of these giant triangles. Each of the sides is 4 feet, so they're massive triangles. I've got a giant 4-foot by 8-foot panel here that I'm gonna cut into 2 squares and put on the roof. I don't think I'm gonna have any soundproofing behind, like in the view of the camera, except for the one piece on the roof up there. I think other than that, it's all gonna be on this side of the camera. I think that'll be enough if I decorate and furnish this area. I like the workroom. I think we're gonna call this the workroom for now, unless someone comes up with something better. This is called the workroom. The clean room, it's only clean now. Give it time. I want to put an unboxing, or like not unboxing, like a top down, I guess it'd be for unboxing and stuff too, but like a top down rig right there. One where the camera isn't in the roof, the camera's a little bit lower, it's at a more normal angle. We'll have some lights there. We'll have a nice, like when I unbox stuff in the videos, which I'll keep doing, like I'm gonna keep the old unboxing space, but like when I unbox over there, the problem is the camera is so high that the shot is no longer clear. I think I need to clean off the lens a little bit, but like the shot's no longer clear. You'll notice like it's a little bit fuzzier, which is a bummer because I'm using a Blackmagic 6K camera and a nice, like a $2,000 lens. and the image is still fuzzy. And so, I mean, I'll keep using it. I'll clean it up. I'll see if I can fix that image as best as I can. But also, just right over here, I'm gonna set up one where the camera is more like head height, so it feels a little bit more natural. I might put it on a jib, just so I can get like some up and down, like some variety of shots. Sorry, it's getting kind of warm. Is the AC on? Let me see. I think we turned up a bit. Thoughts on the FX30, guys? Do you know what the FX30 is? Do you know the new Sony camera, the FX30, the most recently announced camera from them? Dude, Sony pumps out cameras like nobody's business. It's crazy. They pump out like 2 to 3 times as many cameras, as much as Canon does. Which is crazy because Canon is a camera company. I guess that's just the benefit of scale. When you have a company that's like one of the largest companies in the world, you have Sony Pictures, you have Sony TVs, you have Sony everything. When you have Sony everything, you've got a much larger budget, right? You get so many more resources. So the FX30, ooh, my bad. I just kicked the leg of the tripod. I gotta change the way I have that set up. The FX30 is basically the FX3, which is, this is a full frame cinema camera. This is my main camera that I use for handheld stuff. So when I'm sitting down talking, like in the other room, I use the A1 because we shoot in 8K, but this is my new vlogging rig. I love this camera. This camera's amazing. You see, it's a full frame camera. You got a full frame sensor in there, but it's in a nice little handheld body. It's a super dope camera. And it looks like it's heavy because the body is metal, but it's actually slightly lighter than the A7S III, which is super interesting. But anyway, the FX30 is also in their cinema line, but it's this crop sensor camera, and it's $1,800, which is not cheap, but for a cinema camera? Oh my gosh. Would it make a good stream camera? Yes. It'd make an overkill stream camera, but it'd make a good stream camera, yeah. Lumberjack, thank you for the 6 months of the True Senpais. Thank you. And Benny Viaje, thank you for the 18 months. HDGM, thank you for the 9 months. Shigoto room, the workroom. Shigoto no heya desu. Roomy McRoom face. That's fantastic. Bodie McBoat face. I understood that reference. The next week, so let me tell you some of the stuff that we're gonna be doing in here. Dude, I'm so pumped. I get so excited about these things. I get more excited. Does anyone else have this problem? I get more excited about the setup than the actual creation. I love gear. I love, like, ooh, I could do this. I could do that. I could set up my lights this way and you'll never see a cable. I gotta fix that cable. I'm well aware, by the way. It'll get fixed. I love setting things up. And then when it comes time to actually use it, I'm like, ooh. What do I make with this? I don't know. Don't worry about the red face. We'll fix the lighting at some point. I got a little bit too much magenta. What happens if we do this? No, that's not gonna look good. Just gotta fix the hue of this a little bit. Especially if we're gonna be filming in here. I need to make sure my face doesn't look pink. But that's kind of what these streams are about. Trial and error. There's an app called Translation that lets you learn Japanese and other languages and translates English into Japanese. Yeah, Translation, that's the Apple one. That's like the Apple's fight against Google Translate, right? When 360 camera setups for live matrix type shots. Mr. Greggles has already got that covered. I'm good. Oh, that's actually washing me out a little bit. I think we need to stick there. Do you add LUTs to your camera or handle color correction in software? Color correction in software. Yeah, so I've got a handful. I've actually got the Matti Happoya LUT pack, so I shoot everything in S-Log 3. And in Final Cut, I like rigged everything together. I created like a default, I created a brand new effect that had LUTs and it had spatial conformity and like everything. Cause I also edit in a 2:3 aspect ratio instead of 16:9. So it's a little bit wider. You can see the stream is a little bit wider also. So I shoot in S-Log3 and then all I do is I hit Option E and 2 LUTs as well as color correction are automatically applied, and it fills out the whole screen. So every time I just throw it in there, Option E, and the shot looks amazing. I gotta adjust it a little bit. Oh yeah, Tim. Let's do those LUTs. I gotta jump into the Discord. It's been a minute since I've jumped into the Discord again too. Let's do those LUTs though. Let's figure out how to make this room look good. And that might mean adjusting some lighting and stuff too, but I don't know. Thoughts on the Sony ZV-1, or do you recommend something similar? Yeah, if you're looking at the ZV-1, I'd probably recommend the ZV-E10. It's like $100 more. Came out a year or two later after the ZV-1, but it has a replaceable lens, which is, I mean, it has a couple things, but the main thing is you have a replaceable lens, which was the worst thing about the ZV-1. It was my biggest bummer about the ZV-1 is that it's a crop sensor that comes with a non-replaceable lens, a fixed lens, and the widest it could go was 24 mil. If you're holding it at arm's length with a 24 mil lens with a crop sensor camera, you're getting like chin to hair, and that's all you're getting. And that's the widest it could go, and it was meant to be for vloggers, so it didn't make any sense. I'm glad with the ZV-E10 they updated it to have replaceable lenses. I mean, for streaming, I don't think it's gonna be the best for streaming, because again, a 24 lens for a crop sensor camera, you're gonna have to put it kind of far away. That fixed lens choice for the ZV-1 made no sense. It was such a weird choice. It was really weird. Like, it'd be one thing if they put a fixed lens, but it was like a 10 to 22, you know? Like a 10 to 22 would be fine. But a 24 to 70 on a crop sensor on a vlogging camera doesn't make any sense. Thoughts on the Blue Sona? Blue Sona is a great microphone. I was a fan. I think because that video is sponsored, I wasn't allowed to like compare it to other microphones. I think I talked about this last stream. So I think in the next coming weeks or so, I think I'm gonna give it like a true, like we've gotten so many mics out there. I think I'm gonna do like a true comparison thing. I think we've got another mic coming out soon that I think it's in my PO box. I got to check it out. What if you put it vertical? If you put what vertical? The ZV-E10? Like for a vertical shot, like as a secondary camera? Or you only used vertical? 24 mil would be fine for vertical. I use a 35 mil on my vertical camera. I still have to put it pretty far away. Someone's ringing the doorbell, one sec. Oh, Amazon. Do I order the Beacon Mix Create tonight? Only yes or no answer. I can't give you an only yes or no answer. Depends on what you need. Depends on what you have. Depends on what you want it for. If you're building your setup from scratch, yes, absolutely. If you already have something similar, I mean, lots of times wasting money on gear, it happens, even good gear. Recently got the Sony a7 Mark IV and it keeps overheating while filming videos. Last 15 to 20 minute max. Temperature threshold is set to high. It's running on mains adapter. Any ideas? First of all, that's a bummer. Tech Hunter, do you have the screen up against it or do you have the screen flipped out? If you're having heating problems, always leave the screen flipped out. That lets a lot of heat. I mean, that screen is trapping a lot of heat right there. If you have the screen in, that's the first thing I would try, is flipping the screen out. When I shoot our videos in 8K, if I have the screen up against it, it'll overheat. If I open it, it won't. Screen is open, even tried airplane mode too. That's weird. I have, because I use the a7 Mark IV for streaming and I have had it shut down like mid Skype call sometimes or Zoom call. So I wonder if that's an issue with the A7 IV, if they're just a little bit more prone to overheating. Maybe that's how they got the cost down. I have no idea. Or Orion Sharkfin, welcome to the True Senpais. Thank you. Appreciate you. Yeah, we don't have, guys, I just set up this stream from scratch. So all I have is camera and music. This is on my MacBook Pro. I thought I had a scene like prepped, and it turns out I didn't. Like literally it was just like brand new vanilla OBS with nothing in it. So this is literally just camera. There's no alerts or anything. It's just camera and music. I hooked up an Elgato Wave XLR just so I could route my music back into OBS. It's just sitting over there with nothing plugged into it except the USB. Is your setup ready? Varun, you popped in right as I start using a new room. Yeah, stream room looks phenomenal. Main filming space looks really good. We still need to add. Need to add something on the stone wall. It needs like a neon sign or something, you know? We have music. Can you guys not hear the music? Is it too low? It was pretty loud when I opened it up on my phone. I could turn it up a little bit. Here, I just turned it up a tiny bit. Sign, this is Boom Boom Room. That's not what we're gonna call this room. Why don't I grab I'm gonna grab a little tube light. I'm gonna throw it in the corner. I think I'm gonna grab a little bamboo thing from IKEA too. Give me a sec, I'll be right back. We're gonna turn this off too. Hey, what? I'm not going upstairs. I don't know, what do you think? Shrubbery? What's that? The room got a lot darker than I expected. Hold on. Yeah. I gotta put it back behind it again. Hold on. You need something, bud? All right. I feel like it's already getting a little bit of a better vibe. I think now this light is a little bit too bright because I turned it up when I had the lights on in the room. Let's make some adjustments. Let's bring this back down to like 40%. And then maybe we can brighten this whole thing up a little bit. What do you think? Let me pull it up on here. This is kind of a vibe. What do you think? I think we're getting somewhere. What's this room for? This is gonna be for filming some stuff later. I wanted a little bit more of like a welcoming. So once I get the other lights in here that are like dimmable and you have control over the color. Why is it still saying I'm at -7? Hold on. Or -0.7. Does that look washed out? That might be washed out. Hold on a second. That's fine. That's fine. When we start the channel that I've been wanting to start, I wanted a room that felt a little bit more welcoming and a little bit more real. It didn't feel like a set. You know, like we have two main spaces that I film at right now. We have the A-roll room, which feels very much like a set. We got that stone wall behind us. I need to put like a neon sign in front of it to give it a little bit more life. We got that gray wall. We got the color drop downs. It very much feels like a set. And then we've got the stream room, which is very busy because we got the PC and we got multiple monitors and we got the guitar rig. And it's just, I don't have anything that just feels like a workspace. You know, that feels like a good, like relaxing, artistic, creative room that doesn't feel like a set. And so we've got this room that was originally going to be an editing room, but is never used for editing. But I want to start editing. The dog's just making noise. I want to get into editing. I want to start editing again. And so I'm making this my new editing room / filming room for the Harris Heller channel. So I think we call it the workroom. I like the workroom. It's really growing on me. Someone asked if the FX30. No, this is the FX3 AKCLS CSL. You capturing in 24? No, this is 30. But I think I'm gonna try shooting a vlog in 24. I wanna see how it looks. Especially since I wanna go a little bit more cinematic. I think it might look cool. A Japanese wall mural. We could put something. So on this wall, one of the things I wanna get into this year is photography. And so on this wall, I wanna put 3 like framed photos that I take myself. And I want one of them to be an amazing photo of Mount Fuji. Like, I want to spend like good 3 days by Mount Fuji next time I go out there, just trying to get the most amazing angle, the most amazing shot, the most amazing time of day. Are you sure it's 30? Am I sure what's 30? No, this is the FX3. This isn't is that what you're talking about? This is the FX3, not the FX30. Oh, this camera. Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. 4K 30, it says it right there. Looks like 24, feels like 24. I have nothing going on in 24. I noticed that when I fired it up, it felt a little bit jittery. I wonder if it's the capture card. Let me try swapping the capture card. Because I actually when I first turned it on, I put it in and it was at 4K 24. I wonder if it set it at 24, then when I changed the frame rate, the capture card didn't change with it. Okay, let me just reset the capture card. One sec. This is gonna go down for a sec. Let me turn up the music. Does it look any different? Let me try a different capture card. It looks the same to me. All right. So, here's what happened. I ended up, so I swapped the capture cards and when I did that, this one for some reason was only showing green, which has never happened before. I used to use, like, this is the one I use all the time. And it was just like flat green. So I had to go back to the other capture card. Does it look better? It does look better. What happened? What changed? I didn't change any settings. I don't know. It does look more like 30 though, for sure. The old unplug, plug it back in. Could be the capture card dropping frames. It could be. So it's an AverMedia card. It's the Live Gamer LGX3 Live Gamer Extreme 3. And again, I plugged it in at first when the camera was in 24, and I tried like unplugging it, plugging it back in, and it didn't change anything. But apparently, like switching over to the HD60S Plus and then switching back to the AverMedia, maybe you just need to be. Oh, looked like it was dropping frames again. But OBS says I'm not dropping any frames. I have 0 dropped frames in OBS, so I wonder if it's a capture card thing. No idea. No idea. It is what it is. You could try a cam link. Do I have a cam link? I know I've got one somewhere, but it's not in. I don't know where it is. I think I've got 2 somewhere. I'm still unpacking this space, which is crazy with how long I've been here. But yesterday I spent the entire day, I had like 10 boxes of like cables and old gear that's been sitting out there. It used to be sitting in this room. Pulled it out into the main room so I could start using this room. What's that camera cover? What camera cover? Are you talking about this? What do you mean camera cover? I don't know what a camera cover is. I don't know if you're talking about the ND filter on the lens or if you're just talking about the body style. Dude, Ice Design Gaming, thank you for the welcome to the True Senpais. John McLaughlin, welcome to the Thrifty Boys. Matt Severt, thank you for the 5 months. Welcome back, guys. I've had issues with Mac OBS where USB-C cable for the capture card makes the quality worse than using USB-C to A. That's interesting. Yeah, I'll figure this out. I mean, that's why we do these streams and test this stuff out. I wanted to see what this room looked like. Wanted to see how the stream situation was. Wanted to see what the colors were. Just really test these things. The lighting made it look like the body had a cover on it. Oh no, it's just the cinema body. It's the FX3. I gotta say, you know, one of my favorite stupid features of this camera is that, like, shouldn't be a favorite feature, but it is. I like the record button on the front. I like if I'm holding it with this hand, just boop, hit the record button there. If I'm holding it with this hand, boop, hit the record button there. I'm never going to hit record, which, especially when it has a mic on top, it's stupid, but it's so annoying. Having the little record button, boop, right there. So nice, so nice. A little quality of life thing, you know? So, I don't want this room to be like heavily decorated. If I'm gonna decorate it with anything, I want it to be like a functional decoration. Like, again, like this being a top-down shot kind of thing, and that desk, and like having either side of it having like something, like if this is placed here, right? Like in the middle of this little nook, having like shelving on each side of like stuff to use for the top-down shots, you know? I gotta figure out what that looks like. I don't know what that is. I gotta turn the music back down. I just realized I left it way high up there. What rails are those? These up here? So these are, they're just custom steel rails. Elgato doesn't make steel rails like that. Camera's body looks like it's made out of aluminum. This is actually a magnesium body. It's super light and it's super durable. Aluminum would scratch and dent so easily. But this is a great run and gun camera. I'm sure magnesium is more pliable than something else too. But yeah, no, they make it out of magnesium apparently. Should Elgato make steel rails like that? They can get steel rails anywhere. Just buy steel rails. The thing is, how do you mount them, you know? Like, how do you get, like, that was the hard part about this. It wasn't hard to get steel rails. It was hard to get steel rails that were mounted securely to my ceiling. Croco Kyle, thank you for the 18 months. Welcome back, man. Senpai's new venture, Senpai Steel. Yeah, I want to start a steel manufacturing company for sure. What camera is it? It's the FX3, the Sony FX3. What are the rails for? Well, you can see when I did this, you can see I've got a light hanging from it. On this side, I've got this light hanging from it as well. I plan on potentially also hanging my microphone from it. Like having a microphone permanently mounted to the rail above me. So it's not something I can bump when I'm moving stuff around. I kind of like that idea. I think I'll use the Elgato mount for that. Probably. Using your chat to test a theory, bam! I'm glad you're using this chat room as a way to figure out your camera problems. That's what I mean. That's what we're all here for. Go for it. You have my blessing. How's the product company coming along? The product company. I don't know what that is. Talking about the new product we're working on. We had a call this morning. I'm always like wondering, like, what can I share? What can't I share? We're gonna work on a prototype just to make sure it works. We got something big in the works, like game-changing for an exploding industry. I'm very excited. Again, like now I've just gone and I started thinking about it again. I just realized I like zoned out for 15 seconds because I was just thinking about it. You could potentially mount your cameras for smooth B-roll. So I've got a camera slider that I was considering like throwing back behind this desk and having it just normally be like the tripod for this camera, but then that would let me like get sliding shots for the vlog. I don't know if that would look good. I think that would look a little too try hard. You know, you got to find that balance of like, when you're trying to do vlogs that are more cinematic, how do you do it in a way where it doesn't look, where you're not just like using crutches, you know? Like, yes, you can use camera sliders to make amazing stuff, but if you just use it in a place where it doesn't really make a difference, like, is that cinematic, or is it just throwing a slider where it's unnecessary, you know? Man, this room does look good though. Tim, have a good one, man. Thanks for hanging out and helping out some viewers. Got any cool gimbals? Yeah, we got the RSC2 from DJI. I think that's the one we have. Might just be the RS2. I don't remember. They've got so many, and I feel like they're almost exactly the same. I have the NTG4 Plus and Focusrite. Could you give me an example of the best way to use a shotgun mic? Yeah, so we used to use the. I'm actually going to put the NTG4 Plus in here. That's what this is going to be. The thing with it is, what was I going to say? Make sure. So a lot of people think like shotgun mics, they're super directional. I can have them 10 feet away from me, and as long as it's pointing at me, it'll get a good sound. No. You want that mic to be as close to you as you possibly can. Like you know how I shoot in a 2:1 aspect ratio? So I actually, like you can see, I can drag my footage down and there's more on the top and on the bottom, right? So we shoot in 16:9 and then we edit in a 2:1 aspect ratio and crop the top and bottom a little bit. If I were to fully show you, like if we were to edit a video in 16:9, the microphone would show. Like when I'm filming, the microphone is barely in the shots. Like you can see it. And then we cut it out. So get that thing as close to you as possible. It's the best thing you can do. Everyone needs a Tim in their life. Agreed. Agreed. I was at Project 368. Oh, really? A couple weeks ago, they had the Adobe programs as neon signs. Might be an interesting addition. Not a big Adobe fan. Oh, what if we just put iMovie? Like, 2 neon signs of iMovie and Windows Movie Maker. I feel like that would be fitting to me a little bit more. Undermount or overmounts? I like having it over, just because, again, my head is usually closer to the top of the frame, so if I go over, I can get it closer to me easier. Why not a Senpai neon sign? I want to get a Senpai neon sign for the A-roll room. This room isn't befitting of a neon sign. I want it to be more chill. I don't want this room to feel like a set. I want it to feel like a chill workspace. That's what I'm going for. I like that we turned off the lights and we threw that light back there. I think that works really nicely, don't you? What's the best way to get Rode to send me a Procaster 2 so I can do a review on it? Have 100,000 subscribers. Get a couple, 10,000 views per video and some good engagement. Show that it's, sending you one is worth a couple $100 investment on their part. That's the thing. If they're going to send you a $700, whatever, I don't remember how much it is, $700 piece of equipment, they need to know that they're going to get at least $700 back from you. Boo. Ask him very nicely. Are you planning on doing more in-depth YouTube live stream features, something like a best practices for tier prices, for example? Yeah, I think once YouTube really drops, they've been dropping little features that we've needed for a while. But once they drop a real game-changing feature, if they make clips really good, or they just do something that they've been so slow. If they do something, that changes the meta of YouTube a little bit, or makes it like or that maybe they change the way the browse category works or something, where like it is a different beast. Yeah, I'll gladly do another run through of the whole thing. I should probably do another one before the end of the year regardless. Braided Bandit, thank you, man. Appreciate it. Sorry, your message got hidden automatically because there was an F word in it, but I fixed it. Why are you in the editing room? I want to spend more time in here. It's a nice room. It's like the warmest room in the whole space, except for like out there, because it's got like a nice west-facing window. Like right now, if I were to be in that room with the window open, 80% of the day, the sun is coming directly in on my face because it's a south-facing window. And the desk faces, like the window's right in front of me. And so I just like have sun in my face. So I have the shades closed almost all day, as that room ends up being really, really dark. This room, I can keep the window's open right now. And because it's a west-facing window, I'm not gonna get too much light in here until like the late evening. That's the only time the sun's gonna come through. So now I just get a ton of natural light in here. It's super relaxing. What about YouTube's new creator music update? I'm interested to see how that turns out. I feel like that was mentioned a little bit optimistically, and maybe I'm biased, but it seems like they already have a music library for creators. That was pretty great. So it's a question of, the main thing that they're doing is doing splits with creators. That's the big one, where if you put a song in your video, you can actually monetize it. And part of it goes to the music owner instead of all of it, which is how it should have been the whole time. So I'm really interested to see how that's implemented and how that works. I'm gonna have to make a video and put some music in there and see how that works. I don't know if it's one of those, I just kicked the tripod again. I don't know if it's one of those things where like the music industry has to agree to it, or if YouTube is like, no, this is our platform, we set the rules kind of thing. And if that's gonna make the music industry angry, I don't know. I feel like doing splits would make the music industry so much more money. Because right now, nobody uses mainstream music. Nobody except for small creators. Nobody uses mainstream music because you don't want to lose out on that revenue, because you lose 100% of the revenue. If you do splits, and I'm like, yeah, this is a cool song. This song would fit perfectly for this 5 seconds here. And so just like a small portion of the revenue goes to them. That is more revenue than they would have originally gotten from my video, you know? Did you see Ludwig's classic music album he's making? I didn't watch the full video. I gotta watch the whole thing. I was at Vid Summit when Scott sent it to me. I gotta finish it. Do you think more and more people are gonna leave Twitch because they haven't done much with creator discoverability? I think that's a small portion of the problem. I think more and more people are gonna leave Twitch because, oh wait, have we been live for that? No, that's not right. I think more and more people are going to leave Twitch just because they are taking from creators more than they're giving to them. I think discoverability is one issue on a long list of issues. Sorry, don't mind me closing my eyes. Sometimes I have to turn them off in order to use my brain better. Yeah, I mean, it was really weird. Can I share with you a little bit of hypocrisy of the gaming community? I have a hard time saying community that really bothered me recently. So when Twitch announced that they're going to be dropping down their splits from anyone that has 70-30 is going to eventually go down to 50-50, or at least after a certain period of time, and all the small creators that get set. So here's the deal. Small creators should be saying, give us 70-30. YouTube gives 70-30 to everyone. Twitch said, not only are we not going to give you 70-30, but we're going to make everybody 50-50. And as creators, large creators who stream full time and depend on that 70-30 split, we're saying like, hey, this is ridiculous. You're going to be taking thousands and thousands of dollars from me that I earned. You got a lot of pushback from small creators saying, oh no, like, now you're just one of us. Like, oh, you're poor you. You know, you're only gonna make $300,000 instead of $400,000. I thought that was really interesting. That this was around the same time as the I don't like getting political on this. This is not a political statement at all. It's just a statement of rational thinking. The student loan forgiveness. How there were a group of people who had paid off their student loans. They were like, this is ridiculous. I had to pay off my student loans. Now you should have to pay off yours also, which I think is stupid. I think, you know, without getting into the whole thing, like, just because you had to pay it off doesn't mean everybody else should be stuck in a hole. And you had this entire, obviously the gaming community is like, yeah, this is great. You shouldn't complain about that because people need the student loan forgiveness. It doesn't matter if you had to pay it off, people need help. And then at the same time, that same group of people is like, oh no, you should be on the same split as I am. You should be on 50-50 with me. If I have to pay 50-50 to Twitch, you should pay 50-50 to Twitch. Is a little bit of pot kettle-ish. That's all. I just thought the cognitive dissonance there was ironic. No, there are people who, again, I have multiple employees. If I were still on Twitch and it was like my main source of income, and they told me they were going to take my 70-30 away back down to 50-50, I'd be pissed. Because I budget for those things, and a lot of that money goes to employees and to building new things. And the thing is, at the end of the day, it's Twitch saying, hey, we want to make more money, and we're going to, instead of making the platform better and more profitable, we're just going to take it from you. Doesn't matter if it's to big streamers or small streamers. The fact that Twitch says, we need more money, we're going to take it from you, should be a red flag to everyone. It's weird. And what's going to happen is YouTube gives 70-30 splits. So it's just going to be, it's a short-term win, but a long-term loss. It's just going to get more and more people leaving Twitch for YouTube. Twitch has made it very, very clear they don't want to improve the platform. They don't want to make it a better place for streamers to actually grow a business. They don't want to make it a viable place for a career. They want to take as much from you as they can. And every couple months, they take a tiny step, take another inch, and then take another inch, and then they take another inch. And before you know it, they will have taken a mile. And the streamers that are still on the platform won't have noticed. How can you change rooms? Just trying out a new room. We're working on this room to make it a new filming space. It's been an unused room since we built it. Most of the time it's just been housing boxes, which I just finally unpacked yesterday, except there's a bunch of crap on the floor right now. But it was gonna be a B-roll room, and then it was gonna be an editing room. And it never became an editing room because Scott started editing from home. And so it's been sitting here unused. And I'm like, I could make this a really chill, really cool, like artsy film workspace. One that's a little bit brighter. It's got a window. It's a little bit more welcoming. I got to soundproof it a little bit. I got to dress it up a little bit. Someone said put a couch in here. I don't think it's big enough to put a couch. Maybe we could have it against like the back wall, like a really thin one against the back wall. It'd have to be pretty small. If we did a couch here, like it would have to be between where the edge of the desk is to the door. And I don't know what I'd do with that. That would just be really, I'd just be like sitting there. And I would have to, like, I don't have a TV in here. So I'd set up a couch and that would just be thin. I'd have to be facing forward and without being able to do anything. I got a couch in the other room. If I'm going to sit on the couch, I'm going to go in there. I would rather make it, I'd rather have something functional back there. Like I've said before, like 3 times on this stream, but for anyone who's new in here, I want this to be the room where you see, where it doesn't feel like a set. It feels like a workspace. It feels like the place where you see me do the top-down shots and you see me move the camera around, and I want it to be a workspace. That's all. I'm gonna need the top-down desk. Ooh, I think here's what I need to do. Okay, here's an idea. I could get B-roll on this desk. So we're getting a big butcher block desktop. It's coming in next week, and I'm gonna replace the black desk. This is gonna be replaced with butcher block. Dude, I can't use this capture card anymore. This capture card is dropping a bajillion frames. It's nuts. I'm gonna have to swap it out with a different card next time. Yeah, Kenobi, this is the Sony FX3. This is my main vlogging camera. I'm just using the microphone on here right now until I get the main mic set up. Is that a Sony Series Cinema camera? Yeah. No, dude, I love this thing. So I'm vlogging. Again, the lens and the microphone are actually both on this camera. But I'm going to be vlogging basically with a cinema camera. I'm really pumped about it. I've already done some test shots and some test edits and stuff. It looks amazing. I'm going to try it in 24 FPS. What card are you using? I've got the LG X3 in here, and it's been giving me some problems today. The AverMedia. It's so extra. Surprisingly, so it's got the same internals as the A7S III. But it's surprisingly, there are a couple things I like about it better than the A7S III. Most YouTubers use the A7S III. That's actually what this camera is right here. And that's what I've been using. But there are a couple things. Let me grab the A1 just so you can see, because the A1's the same body. One sec. Okay. All right. Let's swap out some lenses too so they're a little bit more comparable. By the way, Kenobi, thank you for the 10 months. Let's do this. All right. So we have this is basically what the A7. This is what the A7S III looks like. This is an A1, but it's basically, it looks like an A7S III, but with a flip-out screen. The A7S III has a flip-out screen at least. This is the FX3. So they're pretty comparable in size. The FX3 is a little bit thicker in terms of body, which I actually like. I feel when I go out with this, I feel like people see this and they see me as less of like a vlogger and more of like a videographer, like a cinematographer, you know? Which is a vibe that I'd really like to put. I think it would help my social anxiety about vlogging a lot. But also I like that it doesn't have the giant EV on it, the electronic viewfinder, because that means that the microphone sits like a solid inch lower. Rather than having the microphone all the way up here, it's down here. I like that a ton. This is a great camera though. FX3 looks like an older camera. It just doesn't look like your standard, like, I don't know. It doesn't look like your standard vlogger camera. I like that it's different. I like that a lot. It also just has a couple features. I mentioned earlier, I like that there's a record button right there and right here. So I can, ooh, that felt weird. I just tweaked my arm. I can also set this to be a record button. So that way I can record with either hand depending on which hand I'm holding the tripod with. Holding it like this, just boop, hit it right there. For some reason, this one also lets you change frame rates on the fly, whereas the A7S III doesn't. You have to set the frame rate to the preset and then change it in the settings. You can't set a button to be the frame rate changer, which you can on this one. I like that a lot. That one's kind of a deal breaker for me. Like, that one's a game changer for me on this camera. This one's also a tiny bit lighter. Even though it looks bulkier, it's about 50 grams lighter. It's nice. All around. Solid camera. I also just like how, I just like how it looks though. It's sick. Is Sony 10-18 f4 optical stabilization lens good for vlogging with an APS-C camera? Yes, absolutely. That'd be a great vlogging lens. I have issues with stabilization. Does the A6400 have built-in Steadicam? The Steadicam is nuts. Can I also say, by the way, this tripod has been a game changer for shaky footage. I used to use the, what's it called? What was that big one? What did I used to use? The SwitchPod, the big metal one. Not only was it heavier, but it was also really long. And so you had, you know, as you're holding it, the camera is this far off. And so it's just shaking. Every single shot that I used with that was shaky. Grabbing this much tinier Mantis pod, it's also beefier. Like it fits in your hand a lot better than like a really thin little slice of metal. So it's beefier and smaller. And so my shots are so much more stable now. Used to use the GorillaPod. I wasn't a big fan of the GorillaPod. It was so long to set up and take down. Just because you had to like bend stuff. If you didn't bend it right, it was weird. I already have a Canon M50 Mark II. Thinking the next camera should be a Sony. Just need to decide on the budget. Sony's crushing it, guys. I mean, Canon's got some good cameras. But Sony's crushing it. Dude, it's hard to make the jump. If you're gonna make a jump, you want to do it before you get too far into an ecosystem. Because I had the EOS R. I had all Canons. I had an EOS R. I had an EOS RP. I had multiple RF lenses. I had multiple EF lenses. Like, just everything. I had so much Canon gear that I had to just figure out, like, how can I just set and forget? Like, how can I just set it to use? So my top-down camera in that room is my EOS R with my 15 to 35, which bums me out because it's great. But my top-down camera that I've used like 3 times on stream is like a $6,000 camera setup, and it kills me. Doesn't Casey Neistat use a GorillaPod? He does use a GorillaPod. At least I think he still uses a GorillaPod. Sorry for changing the subject. We had a short comment about cutouts sucking an Affinity Photo a while back. You mentioned another photo editor that does it well. It was. I use Pixelmator Pro. That's what I use for all my thumbnails. Can you suggest a beginner mirrorless for vlogging and live streaming from Sony? It's Sony EV10. I mean, it depends on your budget. Sony's EVE10 is like $800. I wouldn't spend more than that on a beginner camera. They just released another amazing option, the Sony FX30, that looks just like this and has every single one of these features pretty much, except for it's a crop sensor camera. But that's $1,800. But it's a cinema camera, which is unreal. D. Snide, thank you for the 18 months of True Senpais. Thank you, welcome back, man. And the Game Pass Guru, thank you for the 3 months. I was gonna get the EV10. It was too vlogger-esque for me. Okay. It's a good camera. I don't know what vlogger-esque means. I don't know if you're talking about the look or what. What are your thoughts on the Lumix GX? I've never used a Lumix camera. I have a G7? I don't know. One of their $450 camera. I did a video on it a while ago, like 3 years ago, and I used it for the video. I haven't touched it since. I don't know much about Lumix cameras. Does Provo have interesting spots to vlog? No. I'm probably only going to be vlogging if I'm like going to do something. Sir and I have talked about making, Sir, by the way, Sir's my business partner, Senpai Animation. We're working on some projects together, and he's going to be starting back up his YouTube channel in a little bit. So we're talking about like once a month I fly out to LA, and once a month he flies out to Utah. So that would basically make a trip to hang out and shoot videos every other week, which would be awesome. And that's totally vlog worthy. Like the whole like literally just going out there to each shoot a vlog. It'd be fun. Round trip tickets out there, like 120 bucks. I'd do that once a month. For good content, I'd absolutely do that. Do you go to gym? Do you mean Gaim? Do I go to the Gaim? Well, at least there's Salt Lake City. Yeah, we could go up. So, I mean, there's places outside of Provo. Like you can go up to Park City. You can go down south to the Red Rock areas and all the mountains and stuff. You can go to the Salt Flats. Like there are amazing places in Utah. Amazing places. In Provo, not so much. Currently have a GoPro Hero 8 Black Plus Cam Link. Considering getting a Sony ZV-E10 for streaming, making videos. Do you think the quality will change enough to justify? Yes. Oh, 100%. Action cameras and mirrorless cameras are just not the same. And that doesn't mean one's better than the other. It just means they're different. Action cameras are meant for outside, like they don't work very well in low light because they have very small sensors. Not very small, but like smaller than, at least as far as I know, smaller than a crop sensor camera. They're built in these tiny things. You don't have removable lenses. You don't have any of the flexibility. It's all just super wide and nothing else. So yes, you will have a lot more flexibility and you'll have a lot better shot for that kind of stuff. I mean, if you were saying like, hey, I want to go snowboarding and film that, or I want to go, get good at motocross and mount a camera, I'd say get a GoPro. That's what they're for. They just each have their strengths, Think that Sony A7C is worth it? No, not anymore. It was great for a little bit, but it's lacking a lot of the new colors that the new cameras have and that you need. I mean, if you're gonna get the A7C, how much is an A7C? Hold on. How much you get an A7C for? For the cost of the A7C, you can also get the Sony ZV-E10. Sorry, I misspoke, not ZV-E10. For the exact same price as the A7C, you can get the new FX30. I would 100% go with the new FX30. I know you're losing full frame to go Super 35, but you are getting a much better image out of that thing. I would 100%. If you want to spend $1,800 on a camera, it's not a question. It's not a question. Get the FX30. Same price as the A7 III too? Well, the A7 III is the exact same camera as the A7C. I was really bummed when I found out the A7C has a crop on any 4K. You can't do 4K using the full sensor, which is kind of a bummer. We use our A7C. I thought I was going to use a lot of A7Cs for streaming. And it's just not. It's not ideal. On top of that, by the way, if you get an FX30, you can get some of their cheaper crop sensor lenses. And it's still going to look incredible. You don't have to pay $2,000 for a lens. You can get an $800 lens on the FX30 because it's a crop sensor. Just all around, it's going to be more cost efficient. It's going to be a better picture. I would 100%. If you have $1,800 to spend on the camera, I would 100% go with the ZV-30. What made you choose Utah? Came here for school in 2006. Never really planning on making it my home base, but you just fall in love with the place. It's so chill. There's so much to do. It's safe. It's, at least when I moved here, it was super cheap. It's exploded in the real estate industry here exploded in the last couple of years. Which, I mean, I fortunately got, like, we locked in our home right before it exploded. So our home went up to like $300,000 in value before, yeah, $300,000 in value, like before we moved in. What about the A7Cs? If I was able to get it for $1,200, that's pretty good. Now you're getting a pretty incredible deal. $1,200 for a full frame 4K camera. Yeah, it's pretty bonkers. I do love my A7C. We've gotten a lot of great footage and it takes 30 something megapixel pictures. It's a pretty great camera. What would you say your favorite memory of being out here is? I don't know, Mary and Kenzie? So I feel like I have to say that. No, our proposal was pretty great though. Found a cliff right above the BYU campus where they do Stadium of Fire on the 4th of July. That's where they like shoot off fireworks out of the BYU football stadium. And found a private cliff, got permission from the owner, cleared out a bunch of the weeds, put a blanket down, and we watched the fireworks, and then I proposed afterwards. It was pretty great. It was a good proposal. What would you say a good camera for making films on YouTube for $500 to start? Ooh, that's rough. Oh, and I just realized I have another super chat that I haven't gotten to yet. Give me one sec. $500. It's so hard to find a good camera for $500. Nobody comes out with a good camera for $500 anymore. You used to be able to pick up, the Sony A5100, brand new, for $500 or for $500, $450. I think I got mine for $450. If you're looking for a $500 camera, I would probably pick up a used Sony from like Facebook Marketplace or eBay or something. A handful of the cameras that I use in my streams and from other stuff are just used cameras I picked up on eBay. I have the original A7S. I've got 2 of them that I use in my streams. Full frame, 4K. You can't record 4K internally, but we're talking, it's a 10-year-old camera. Got them for $500. So if you're looking for $500, I would absolutely pick up a used camera that's in good condition. I swear your videos made the A5100 go up in price. It was in 2020. You think it was my videos? No, it was the pandemic. Get out of here. It was the demand for cameras that went up and for some reason still hasn't come down. Did you ever consider doing channel reviews? No. But how did the people learn about the A5100? It wasn't... All right. I don't think it was me. I really don't think it was me. But I appreciate that that's how much confidence you have in me. Yo, Enton Blaze, thank you for the super chat. They currently have a GoPro Hero... Oh, I read that one. I answered that one. I'm not behind on super chats. The MPB website is my favorite place to go to. What's MPB? I don't know what that is. What is it? What are we at right now? We're at about 15 mil. What's 14 mil? So this lens is my favorite lens. Is this wide enough? What's the difference between this and this? The only difference is now you can see that light up there. If this is the widest that this camera went, I think that would be more than we needed. All right, so I'm asking a question. Hear me out. This is a thought that was going through my head this morning. Kenzie and I are trying to really cut back spending, and I feel like it's very hard for me to justify buying new gear lately. I love this lens. This is by far my favorite lens. I use it in almost everything. I use it 5 times more than my next closest lens. It's the 12 to 24. It's insanely wide. I mean, just look at this. Like I am less than an arm's length away from the lens. Just like I'm touching the lens hood with a bent elbow. And look how much you can get. Like it's insanely wide. It's amazing. It's a little heavy, but it's amazing for vlogging. It's amazing for our shots. I shoot all of our A-roll shots on it. It's great. And I want to use it here for streaming also, and it's my main vlogging lens. So I've got 3 cameras that I want to put it on all the time. What lens? It's the Sony 12 to 24 GM. It's f2.8. It's an amazing, amazing lens. Problem is, like if I could, I would grab 3 and I would just have one on here and I would have one on here. I would have one out there all the time. That's what I would do. They're $3,000 each. I don't want to buy more of those. It is the most expensive lens I own. So I'm not going to be doing that. Here, I'm going to swap out the lenses real quick. One sec. You know what? I can actually probably... No, this only goes out to 16. Hold on. It's going to go white. I'm going to flashbang you guys again real quick. Sorry. Hope no one was watching in the dark. Okay. So this goes out to 16. This is the lens, by the way. This is the lens that I was using a second ago. Look how beefy that thing is. Just for comparison. Do I have another lens around here? Where was it? Oh, it's right here. Just for comparison. And this one even has an ND filter. You're like, hold on. We're gonna have some fun here. I'll cover up that sensor in a moment. Here we go. There. These two, there we go. That's the difference there. This thing is a monstrosity. This thing is so fat. I love this lens. This is the widest this lens goes. This one's a 16 to 35. We could leave this on here for a bit. That's not too bad. And I could even throw an ND filter on it. That would let me get back out, because we're like f7 right now, just to not overexpose. I could throw an ND filter on that. That might actually solve the problems. But in order for this, I want this to be on the other one. I don't like swapping out lenses all the time. I know it's such a first world problem, but I like having setups just there and ready to go. I think I'll probably keep this one on here for now. No, I need it to go a little wider than this when I'm shooting stuff. I'm considering doing the Sigma 14 to 24 instead, because while the 12 to 24 goes all the way up to 12, it's $3,000. The Sigma, I want to say, is 12 or 1,300. It's less than half the price, and it would give me something that I could mount there. Mount there permanently, and could even potentially move it back and forth between two cameras. That's not a big deal. I rarely go out beyond 14 mil on these cameras. I do vlogging a ton, but I don't think I'd go past 14 mil on this camera. Or even, I think I shoot the other one sometimes in only like, what? 18 mil? What's your favorite wide angle lens? This one, the 12 to 24. This thing is an absolute beast. Look at this thing. This is my vlogging setup. Just the microphone that's on here needs to go on here. But this is my vlogging setup, and I am in love. I love this thing. Since I rarely go out beyond like 18 mil, maybe I'll throw our 16 to 35 on the other one. Okay, I'm figuring everything out. Just had a random question. This is gonna sound niche, but hear me out. I have a Shure SM7B, a Go XLR, no cloud lifter, and 340 subscribers. Do you think I bought it too early? You only bought it too early if you're out of money and you couldn't afford it and you bought it anyway. If you have a good job, you've got that within your budget, there's no such thing as buying it too early. If you enjoy gear, it makes you happy, it makes the process more enjoyable, sure. If you went into debt to get those things, yes, absolutely, 100%. Considering you could, I mean, especially nowadays, you can get a Wave XLR and a Wave DX, and the entire, I mean, it'll sound just as good. You won't have the 4 little cool sliders, but it'll sound just as good for $260 versus what you spent on there, which is what, $900? Yeah. If you didn't have the financial situation to do that, then yeah, sure. But really, it's just entirely depends on what your budget is. What mic are you using? It's the, was it the E10? The G10? I don't remember what it's called. It's the Sony one. So no time is too early? No, there's no such thing as buying gear too early unless you can't afford it. Again, I buy it way too much gear that I don't end up fully using, but then later down the road, I'm like, oh man, I'm really glad I have this. Like, as long as you, like this light right here. This light is an Amaran 200X. It has not been used in a year. When Sam moved back, I inherited it from him. Or actually, I think I inherited some other ones from him. And by inherited, I mean, when he moved here, I paid his moving costs and that included a bunch of equipment. He bought some lights with it. And then when he moved back, obviously, hey, those go back to the studio. I bought those for you to work here and you were only here for like a month. So this was a light that I purchased to use and ended up not getting used. I mean, it's probably what, $350, $400 light with a, I don't know, $150 umbrella, maybe $200 umbrella on it. And it sat there unused for a year. And I'm like, oh, I want to make this room look better. I had two lights, one up there and one here that were literally sitting completely unused. And I'm like, I can build. Now look how great this looks. I was able to put this together in a day. The arms that are holding them up, both of them sitting around, hadn't been used. Bought them forever ago. As you grow, as your content grows and as you expand as a creator, there will always be room for those things. The only time you're buying stuff too early is if you can't afford it. Because I ran out of space, my parents bought me the SM7B for my 17th birthday, bought the Go XLR with my own money. Oh, that's dope. That's dope. I only chose that mic because it would be able to fit the aesthetic I was going for. Would have picked up the Rode Pod mic, but I couldn't make it work in the way the SM7B would. Again, if it wasn't a financial strain to pick it up, then there's no problem with picking it up. Sony ECM B10, that is the one. Wait. Is the B10 the new one? Dang it. Sony B10. No, the B10's the new one. What's the other one? B1? The B1M. The B1M is what I've got on here right now. Let me grab the other mic that I'm going to be adding to this in a sec, though. One sec. Okay, so this is the interface that comes with this camera. When you buy this camera, and you can get it without it, I think. But for the most part, it comes with this on here. Like that. And that's what this camera looks like. And you know, you gotta screw them in and stuff. I found myself, when it was like this, I found myself rarely using this camera. Only when we were out there, we wanted to use it as a handle and have like, Scott was shooting me with a handheld camera, we threw this on there. But for the most part, it was rarely used. I actually wonder if I could throw this. I mean, how stable is it if you don't use these? Can I throw this on? Let me try throwing it on the A1 here. We're gonna experiment a little bit here. Give me a sec. What happens if we throw this on the A1? How well does it hold? I mean, for a camera that's not moving, it's a little iffy. That makes me nervous. I'm gonna like break some pins in there. Let me see if it works though. I can't tell. Oh, I think that's working. Oh, 100%. It's a little rickety and I don't want to break the pins. I was gonna throw it on this camera. because I need a mic interface for it so I can put this microphone, instead of using that tiny mic, I want to set this mic and like mount it and have it like right here. I'm just worried about causing damage to the equipment, you know? We've also got this. This is like, this thing is basically this thing. You can see it's the exact same thing, but without the big old handle on it. So I could use this, but I use this on the A1, so like this goes like this. See, and this one has like a little tightening mechanism here. So it locks on here really nicely. That one doesn't, because it's supposed to lock on to the holes on the top of the camera. So like I could throw this on there, and I could plug the mic into it, but then I wouldn't have it for the other camera out there, and it's just... Always great to see creators creating on the spot. I know, right? I could, oh. Hold on. I could. Okay, so I've got another one of these. I've got two of these. It is currently in the stream room on the corner mic. You know, the corner camera, the one in the corner of the room showing the whole thing. And it's for that microphone, which gets used almost never. It's a really nice interface, never gets used. The problem is I haven't had an alternative for it. I did run an XLR cable all the way from there over to behind the PC and then back over behind my monitors. And I could push it back through and then put it in the Rodecaster. I think I have a space for it. I think I'm gonna do that. I think that's the play. All right, that's the play. Gonna grab the other one of these, throw it on here, throw this microphone on it, mount it to this pole up here. I need a serious Elgato. Steggy, are you in here? You want to send me a ton of multi-mount stuff? So I can have it coming all the way down here. That's long. That's like 7 feet of multi-mount. I don't have 7 feet of multi-mount. Jeez. Just bought the A7 IV. Super excited to use it. I'm excited for you too. You actually came in here like, I'm telling you this not to be a downer. V-Bunny Go, because I use that as my main streaming camera too. We had someone come in here earlier saying they were having overheating issues, and I've actually had mine overheat as well. So what I would recommend you do is within the first couple weeks, whatever the return period is on it, go out and like hardcore use it in the most extreme case that you would. Make sure you have the temperature threshold set to high, but go out and use it and make sure that you don't have overheating issues. That's the first thing I would check. I know it's not super fun to hear when you're about to get a camera you're excited to get, but I'd rather you find out within the return period than after the return period. That's all. Do you know how to project your stream to a vlog camera? Project your stream to a vlog camera. I don't know what that means. Do you mean stream from a vlog camera? Is that what you're trying to do? Dude, I'm not gonna lie, this room looks sick. I'm really happy with how this is gonna turn out. This is gonna be really fun when we finish it. Oh, so, okay. So, actually, you wanna know the best way to do that? Depending on how much you plan on spending. Did you hear there was an update to the Sony Xperia phones? The Sony Xperia phones. You can plug your Sony camera via USB directly into the USB port on the Sony Xperia phone, and you can capture it directly in the phone and stream directly from the phone. That's unreal. That is the coolest thing. So that's probably your best option. If you have a Sony camera, I think that is the best way to do it. I want to reach out to Sony and be like, hey, can you send me one of those phones? I want to check this out right now. I want to try it. Another option is having, there are those little, like I showed like, I mean, you can get like a streaming backpack, of course, but that's hefty. My friend Lemonade is making a streaming, like a really small, like really easy. He's been streaming. He's been doing IRL streaming for a little bit. He's building like easy to use, small, compact cases and stuff for like, literally he made a streaming fanny pack, which is dope. He made a streaming fanny pack. It looks amazing. He's used it a bunch. He's programming the whole back end. And he's working, he just ordered a couple more encoders. He's building like a new version right now. His Twitch account is It's Lemonade, ITSLMND. It's Lemonade. Again, ITSLMND. If you want to learn about IRL streaming from a vlogging camera, I would absolutely hit him up. If you're just talking about like from home, there are HDMI wireless transmitters. I've actually got a pair. And they work really well. They have almost no latency. If you're just looking to like walk around your home and send it from a camera, I'd just grab one of those. It's like 100, 200 bucks, I think. I don't remember. But we tried it. We tested it like 2 years ago, 3 years ago. It's pretty cool. Do you think Logitech's going to make an XLR audio interface now that they make an XLR mic? Do you think they'll make something to compete with Elgato products? Probably. Can't imagine they wouldn't. I don't know of any. JepCon, welcome to the Thrifty Boys. Thank you for the member. Guys, I got to work on Friday's YouTube video. I've actually, speaking of which, got another audio interface to check out. Makes me sad that I can't really utilize this. Maybe, this is going to sound such a stupid thing to say, maybe I should get an FX30 just so I can actually take advantage. Buy an $1,800 camera just so I can use a $400 accessory. That makes sense. It's gonna get the YOLO Live. YOLO Live's pretty dope too. I like the YOLO Live a lot. It's just beefy. It's definitely OP. Like it's got 3 capture inputs. I wish there was one of those that was a fraction of the size with 1 capture input. It was much simpler. It'd be nice. Is there a winner of the Elgato DX? I'm doing that right after this stream. I will announce it. So I'll DM them. I'll let them know, but I'll announce it in the video that's coming out on Friday. Just so you guys know that like there was actually a winner. And then I'm gonna announce another giveaway this Friday actually on the video. The company that sent me a device to do a video on sent me 2, so I could do one for a giveaway. Anyway, guys, I gotta run. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for the new members. Thank you for the super chats. Appreciate you guys. So yeah, new video coming out Friday. I think this room we're gonna make like a slow evolution kind of thing. Like first thing I'm gonna build is the top-down thing over here. And then as I'm doing top-down shots, and I'm like, oh, I wish I had some shelves with some stuff. Or I wish I had some drawers to put things in. Like, that's what I'll put there. I don't think I'm gonna like build out this room until I know what I need from it. And so if you guys ever have any thoughts, like, oh, it would be really cool if you had this in here. I'd really like to see you work on this, so maybe throw that equipment in here. If you have any thoughts, let me know. This, basically from this weird little thing here, all the way around to the door is available. This wall is gonna have photography on it. This space is gonna have soundproofing, so this room can sound better. But that area, I need to make a really cool usable space. I think I might grab like 1 more light to like shine on the back wall or something. I don't know, we'll see. One thing before you go, atmosphere room versus green screen background. Which do you prefer? I don't know what an atmosphere room is. Are you just talking about like a real room versus a green screen? Always real room. If you can go real room, that is 100, it's always better. You can always tell if something is a green screen. A giant hamster wheel. All right, I gotta go. After that comment, I'm out of here. Guys, have an awesome one. Thank you so much for hanging out. I will see you guys next time. See you guys on Friday on the Senpai Gaming YouTube channel. See you guys on Saturday. Maybe streaming from here again? We'll see. I don't know. make little upgrades each time. I'll throw this on so we'll have better audio. Love you guys. Peace.